So in the previous video, I told you guys I was going to come back and share with you some of the cosmetic procedures that I had done. Tell you what all I had done, share my experiences, give you a little feedback. So today is the day and this is the video. So the procedure that I'm going to talk about today, I had done prior to face tight, like not many years, but a few years back. I did that first before face tight. And just to give you a little backstory on why I even, opted to do the service was because, one night I went out, child, and we had a time that night, we had a time so much that I went to bed and woke up the same way that I went out that night. Like I was still in, full dress, full beat. So, I cleansed my face, removed the makeup because I slept in the makeup. And after cleaning my face, I'm seeing craters on my face. So my pores are like huge, visibly huge. Never saw them before prior to sleeping in my makeup. So, I'm thinking my pores are clogged because I slept in the makeup. I'm a cosmetology instructor licensed, and skin and nails falls under the umbrella of cosmetology. So not only are we licensed to do hair, but we're licensed to do skin and nails as well. So, I gave myself a deep cleansing facial. Okay, try to get in there, clean out those pores, because I'm thinking it's clogged because I slept in the makeup. Okay, so did the facial, and I'm still seeing pores, right? So I did it a second time, waited a few days, did it a second time. But the only thing that I did differently from the first time, I steamed my face on both occasions, like to really open up the pores, even though they were already open, like huge. But to get in there to really like clean it out. But what I did the second time that I didn't do the first time, I used ice water to try to like give my face a bath, ice water bath, to try to like shrink the pores. But that ain't work. I still was seeing pores. It was like, once you see them, you can't unsee them. So, child, I had to put my investigation hat on, I had to go on the Googler, because, I go to Google for everything. So I asked Google, I was like, why am I seeing pores on my face? And Google tell me one of the reasons was clogged pores, which is what I thought because I slept in my makeup. So another reason that Google gave me was the signs of aging. So when I read that, immediately I remember the conversation that I had with an older woman like some years before that. And she was telling me, girl, you're gonna go to bed one night and then you're gonna wake up and you're gonna age 5 years just overnight. And that was ringing in my ears. I was like, okay. So I kind of like thought about it, is it aging? Because, in the span of 7 days, I did 2 deep cleaning facials, so it couldn't be clogged pores, because I cleaned it out like thoroughly. So is it aging? So I went back on the Googler and I started looking for skin tightening procedures. So I actually scheduled an appointment. I can't even remember what the service was. But ultimately I didn't get the service because, child, that was like that's a vlog in itself. Because how you going to schedule a consultation? The purpose of a consultation is to not only explain the procedure, but like the pros and cons of what could go wrong during the service. She waited until I showed up for the service to tell me what could go wrong. And it freaked me out, so I didn't even get the service done. So it was back to the drawing board. So another service that I discovered on Google was for skin tightening was Ultherapy. So I searched for, I did my investigation on the procedure, and then I started searching for places that performed it locally. And there was only one doctor that was coming up when I did the Google search. There was one doctor. So I went to realself.com and I investigated the doctor. And I read what the folks were saying. Now, they wasn't talking about the service. They were talking about the doctor. So I didn't like what I was reading about the doctor. So I opted not to get services from them. So I went back to Google to see who else was offering it by searching Ultherapy near me, but nothing was popping up. So I kind of like let it die down. But then I was on Instagram, my Explore page, because you know that's why I love really. And my smartphone remembered that I was looking for Ultherapy, so here it is, a video about Ultherapy services. Click on it, and it happened to be aesthetic office that was close by. It was like within, you know, my local area. So I clicked on the post and I read the comments. There were clients who were on there who had a procedure and they were like raving about getting it done. And then there were people on there who I guess who were potential clients who were asking questions, and there was one lady who was answering the questions. So she was a girl who actually performed the service at the spa, so she was answering questions. So I was being nosy. So I clicked on the lady who worked there, the lady who was answering the questions. I clicked on her page, and child, when I went to her page, like she is like the reinventor of skin. Like she is really up on her skin game. Like she has so many alphabets behind her name. You can call her the alphabet girl. Like she is the FBI, the CIA, the DEA, the SLED of like skin. Like she is up on her skin game. She has so many alphabets behind her name. I had to Google. Like, you know how some people have PhD or BA or, you know, all the educational alphabets. Like I had to Google because I never heard none of them. But yeah, she's up on her skin game. So she's very educated. And even at the time that I went back then, she had just graduated. She got a degree in something related to skin. So she had just recently added another alphabet behind her name. So, you know, I continued to be nosy on her page because her page was public. So I started looking and reading comments, and some of her clients actually follow her, and, you know, they were commenting about procedures. That's how I kind of know they were clients. So she has a good rapport with her clients, which was good. Considering what I read about the other doctor, you know, that was good. And I find her very educated in skin, so I decided to schedule a consultation. Went to the consultation, and in a nutshell, she didn't say this, but you know, my interpretation was I was being drama queen. She didn't say that again. She said she has seen worse, and yeah, it was not as bad as how I was making it out to be. But ultimately, I wanted the service because, you know, I was seeing pores and, you know, I want my skin tightened. So I scheduled the appointment. So what you are about to see now is some footage that I recorded while I was getting the procedure done. Now I kind of shortened it for the sake of time. So y'all go look at that, and then I'm going to come back and give you some feedback on my experiences. Okay? So go watch that. Then we'll talk. This is what I'm doing today. She's getting marked. Ooh, a little discomfort. We're taking a break. I survived. Got a little bit of welting. That'll go away. This is just a sensitive area, and it's thin under the eyes. So first off, let me just go ahead and start by saying I have a high tolerance for pain. Like my pain threshold is like off the charts. But when it came to certain areas like around this jawbone, like I don't know if it was because of the frequencies was bouncing off the bone, but it was quite uncomfortable. I've never been electrocuted, I've never been tased, but maybe on the lower scale, it probably represents that type of feeling. Like again, I've never experienced an electrocution or a tase, but yeah, it was pretty uncomfortable. Felt like a jolt of electricity just around the jawbone. And it's pretty uncomfortable underneath your eyes as well because the skin is like on the thinner side. So immediately afterwards, you're going to swell up just like instantly. It's going to look like mosquito bites underneath there. So those are the two areas. But yeah, right, this jawbone, ooh, cha. Like, so during the consultation, she did offer pain medications because some people have a lower tolerance for pain. And so pain medication is offered. You have to take it prior to the appointment, and you have to have a driver, somebody to drive you there and somebody to pick you up. Yeah, I didn't think it was going to be that bad. And it really wasn't. It was just that area, this mainly around, not even too much underneath the eyes, but mainly around that jawbone area. Yeah, it was a little bit uncomfortable. Um, Now, I opted for a full face. Like, you can select what quadrant or what area on your face that you want worked. I opted for a full face because why not? If I'm going to get skin tightening, we're going to tighten everywhere. It does cost a little bit more because there's more time involved in doing it. But overall, it took about an hour and a half for the services to get completed. Now, prior to me receiving the services, my pores had already shrunk dramatically. I mean, they were still visible, but um, they did shrink prior to me receiving services. So I really didn't see um, a dramatic change after getting the service done. Like, there was no visible change. Like, I kind of looked the same way after. Um, so was my pores still visible after? Yes. Was there any change? No. Kind of felt like I wasted my money. Now, I will say that Ultherapy is a service that as time progresses, it gets better. So there wasn't any immediate change. Now, do I see pores on my face now? No. Many years later? No. So maybe even though I didn't see instantaneous change or even change over a period of time, maybe because it works in the deeper crevices of your face, like it goes underneath like the deep recesses of your skin, and it stimulates collagen. So maybe it like slowed down what could have potentially been an aging situation. So maybe it did work. But did I see any visible change? No. Mm-mm. No. So my recommendation based off of my experiences is, yeah, save your money. It ain't like worth it. I couldn't say that, yeah, it worked. I really couldn't say that. So unless you have like really deep issues, and maybe that's what she was trying to tell me in a consultation, because she was like, she's seen worse, and maybe she was hinting at that. But unless you have like deeper sagging issues, I don't even know if sagging is the term that I want to even use, but maybe like wrinkles. Because when I was doing realself.com, I went on the website and I looked at the services. People were getting Ultherapy in addition to another skin resurfacing service. So maybe it has to do with wrinkles. So maybe it was more effective for people who were progressively in the aging process. So maybe that's why I didn't really see a difference. But for me, did it work? No. Yeah. Save your money, child. Do I recommend? No. So that's my experience. So I told you I was just gonna come back and give y'all a little take on some of the things that I got done and share my experiences and give you some feedback. And yeah, I do have one other service that I'm gonna come back and talk about. I'm still testing some theories because we ladies, our bodies go through some things. So I'm still in the testing out phase, and then after I felt comfortable reporting, and I got all the answered and kind of like figured it out, then I will come back and relate to you what it is that I had done, and give my feedback on that. But yeah, straight and to the point. Save your money, child. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Okay? So, yeah. Until the next vlog, y'all. Peace.